2016 Leaving Cert Higher Level Paper 1 Question 3 is a functions question with e to the power of x. F of x is equal to 2 over e to the power of x, and g of x is equal to e to the power of x minus 1. Complete the table below to 2dp where necessary. So we can see, well, when x is 0, in this one here we have 2 over e to the power of 0, which is 2 over 1, which is 2. And anything to the power of 0 is 1, so e to the power of x, e to the power of 0 is 1, minus 1 is 0. So we don't need our calculator for this one. And also the natural log of 4, e to the power of the natural log of 4 is equal to 4. So we have 2 over 4, which is a half. And down here we have e again, e to the power of the natural log of 4 minus 1. Well, that's going to be 4 minus 1, which is 3. Now calculator for the other two. So correct the 2dp. We get 1.21. We get 0.74. E to the power of a half minus 1 is 0.65. And this one is going to give me 1.72. E to the power of 1 minus 1, 2.72 minus 1. Okay, let's look at the next part. Second part of this question, you're asked to graph them, and you're given a graph 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis, and just you're given the number 1 on the x-axis. But we can see here we're going out to the natural log of 4, and the natural log of 4 is equal to 1.386 or 1.39. So I'll put that down here as well. Just change colors. So we have, when x is 0, we'll do f of x first. We'll do f of x in green. So when x is 0, f of x is equal to 2. When x is equal to 0.5, so I'll just put a little dash down here, 0.5, 1.21. So these are going to be approximates because I don't have scaled graph on this app, but you guys will, and in the exam it's given to you. 1 is 0.74, so approximately here. And the natural log of 4, 1.39 is a half, approximately here. Now, it does say in the marking scheme, if you use straight lines here, if you draw it with a ruler, you will lose marks. So it comes down like this. Okay, let's change to red, and we'll do g of x in red. When x is equal to 0, g of x is also equal to 0, so we're starting down here. When x is equal to 0.5, g of x is 0.65, so slightly below this 0.74, 0.65 approximately. When x is 1, we're up to 1.72, so maybe just slightly below there. And when natural log of 4, 1.39, x goes all the way up to 3. And again, just try and curve your line exponentially up to there. Now, the next question I have to ask for the point of intersection always when we're given these types of things. So, parts 3 and 4 of this question. Well, actually, part 4 was called part B, so I'll give it its correct initial. Use your graph to estimate the value of x for which they're equal, and then use algebra. So just a little exam tip here. Always use the algebra first if you're asked both, and then make it work to your graph, because you don't want to lose marks for not having a correct estimate. There'll always be a margin of error, but it'll be quite small. So let's use algebra to solve these two. So we have 2 over e to the power of x is equal to e to the power of x minus 1. So we have cross multiplying, we have e to the power of x by e to the power of x minus e to the power of x equals 2. So I'm going to write minus 2 equals 9. You should be able to jump to that point. Now, we can just factorize using e to the power of x here, or if you wanted, similar to other algebraic questions, you could let y equals e to the power of x. So we're going to have y by y, which is y squared, minus y, minus 2 is equal to 0. People find this a little bit easier, I think, when you use one of the letters you normally would be using to factorize rather than something like e to the power of x. So it's going to be a 2 and a 1, and it's going to be minus 2 and plus 1. So y is equal to minus 1 or plus 2, and e to the power of x is equal to y. So e to the power of x is equal to minus 1 or e to the power of x is equal to minus 2. Sorry, plus 2. We know here that we can't get a minus number if we raise e to a power, so it's this one here. So we're going to have e is equal to the natural log of 2 using your log rules. And the natural log of 2 is a decimal. If we want to write that, e is 0.693.